My name is Akasan. After 4 long years on the island of Fukuoka, I have come back to Tokyo with one goal in mind. Be an honest YouTuber. But to do that, I can't always give the reactions people want. To honor my channel's reputation, I must be someone else. I must be something else. Previously on Aka.
Bum, 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 bum. Red Dreaded Entertainment here. It's reaction time. I am Akasan.
DC-san.
And we're going to be checking out Supergirl Season 2, Episode 1, Sneak Peek, The Adventures of Supergirl. I've heard a lot of good things about this, and I watched some of the last season, a few episodes. I think you probably watched all of them, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course.
So, I'm sure you're excited about this season.
Yes, I'm very excited. I enjoyed it because when it first started out, it wasn't as strong as some of the other shows, mainly because budgeting and trying to figure out what direction to go in this show.
Which is odd because I heard they actually being on CBS it had a bigger budget than
didn't feel like it.
Right.
But I'm glad they did it that way because it made you pay more attention to the writing. So it's like, okay, good. Is the writing going to get better? Is it going to get worse? Instead of, focusing on special effects.
Right.
But then watching it, they really, really filled it out. They did a good job. It literally did just get better as the season went on. Okay. So that's why I kept watching.
So I'm very curious to see how this adaptation of the CW, which I have heard that they've had to take a lot of budget cuts, and they had to drop Kat in terms of budgetary costs and such.
Because, well, she's expensive.
Yeah. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to attack Superman, Supergirl, Kryptonians on the CW.
So am I. I'm happy that Superman's there, but I'm looking at it as, is this a younger Superman who maybe doesn't have all of his powers? Mainly because he is... I like the actor. I've met the actor. He's super nice. Tyler is great. And good job on your previous work. But the complaint that I hear from some people is like, he's not big enough. He's not big enough. So him being a younger Superman would actually play into it really well.
Right. I saw one clip of him running to fly. I thought that was...
They basically did that in place of Supergirl, because that's what happens in Supergirl Season 1. When she first breaks out as Supergirl,
the only reason I thought that was odd, because like a few days beforehand, I saw a very Man of Steel-ish takeoff of Supergirl. Like the whole... I was like, wait.
But that's kind of cool.
She can do that, but Superman has to get ahead. Like, okay.
I got you.
You can see what I'm saying?
But that would play in well to him not being at the full power that most people are used to him being in the comic books. Like being like a young Superman. Like he just came from Smallville into Metropolis maybe a year or two before.
Right, like, okay, but it seemed cool. But kind of Supergirl's more from what I saw,
power-wise, she's more established.
Right, it looks like she's more established than Superman is.
Yeah, but that's not cool.
I'm sure it'll be explained. Let's take a look.
I think it's more of a old-school homage to the Christopher.
Got it.
Sorry for the long explanation. It was Daily Planet.
I think that's Clark.
No, Mr. White.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. White. Yes, I will have my article on your desk. Lickety split. Yes, sir. I know that no one says lickety split anymore. Although you do still say Great Caesar's Ghost, which is a bit of a throwback. No, yes, sir. I'm very aware that we are not talking about you. Yes, sir. Yes, I will have that to you.
He does actually look like...
Hang on,
he does.
Possible explosion aboard the Venture.
Here's all we know at this time. There are over 200 people aboard the craft.
Motherfucker, really? She's there. Oh, okay. She really looks like an alien, or he looks like an alien.
We can only hope wherever he is, he's seeing this.
Okay.
And he's throwing his stuff away. I see what you mean. Why do you need to do all that running?
I pray she's watching this.
She is.
I like this Jimmy Olsen.
Wow.
And Supergirl is super cool.
Mayday, mayday, we have experienced a hull breach and catastrophic engine failure.
Oh, that's the sister, right?
No, sister's down there. But what I'm wondering, if this is when they're introducing one of the other characters, who basically ends up being taken over and absorbed by the technology there, and what they got exposed to.
Hey, cuz.
It's good to see you.
Hey, cuz.
This looks like a job for the both of us.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Supergirl. Season premiere Monday, October 10th on the CW.
Really? Gotta wait till the 10th? No, it's fine.
I'll take my time. You know,
The second is fine. What'd you think?
I liked it. I really liked what I saw. Like, there's something really unique, like you were saying. But for me, the one thing I have noticed, and this is the thing I will give Supergirl credit for, is I noticed this about watching The Flash when I used to watch Arrow.
Ouch.
And Legends of Tomorrow is that it tends to be a bit dark, bit darkish, very, and that sometimes that used to work really well with Arrow. Occasionally it works well with Flash, although I do sometimes see some. I noticed with season 2, it started getting into certain sort of repetitional holes. It's like Barry gets knocked out, runs away, figures out something. What I do like,
he was running in circles.
what I do like about what I've seen so far of Supergirl, it has the way the music is constructed, and I think it's actually the same dude. The way the music is constructed and the feeling has this more of a heroic feel. Like, I actually have noticed when I saw
Especially
Superman,
Flash and Supergirl.
that crossover was one of the best things I ever watched. Like, that actually made me tear up a bit. Seeing Supergirl fly and the Flash was running, I'm like, oh my god! It's like, for me, that's what I felt like when I pick up an Action Comics or some of these DC comics. That, for me, that's what I felt. Like, that's the way I would like to see my live action stuff.
I am so happy right now to hear you say that, because you were disappointed with Arrow, and it's like to find a good or decent placeholder for that to kind of start off, watch it, and see how the show grows. You know, hesitant, because Arrow didn't really do it for you long term, and then Legends of Tomorrow was like, for some people. So Supergirl being there, I'm like, yes, thank you.
Well, it just seems because
I enjoyed it.
Right. Well, it just seems like they are like. While I'm not a big fan of Supergirl by itself, and I'm not a big fan of Superman by itself, when seeing those two interact and just seeing like I'm like, okay, now this is DC. Like, this is when I think of a DC comic, this is kind of the way I think about it. And I know there are iterations of darker DC comic stories, but when I think of the average Superman comic book, that show is kind of what I see. Where Smallville didn't really hit it for me either.
Because no one, my gripe with Smallville, Superman never became Superman.
Right.
I mean, he was barely Superboy. It's like,
so I always felt like they were kind of tiptoeing around what could be the obvious or something like that.
And for me, it felt like you lose out when your character doesn't even come close to the potential.
They
that
didn't get the payday. It was like it was like doing. It's almost like having 9 years of Bruce Wayne never becoming the Batman or something like that, right? Which they were trying to do.
Yeah, like
they were trying to make a fucking show called DJ or some shit like that. Like, but from what I've seen here, I liked the tone. Even when Clark was talking to Peter, I'm just like, again, like, I like this kind of like, it's got this throwback nostalgia feel for me. Perry, thank you. What did I say?
Peter. It's because of a Spider-Man cup here.
It must be. Yeah, I could have said JJ. Oh fuck. spider sense. So I like it. I like what I'm seeing. The costume itself, I personally like the costume, the design.
Whose?
Superman's.
Because it does have a very similar look to the Injustice Superman. The way it's designed here.
Fair enough.
And the shape of the S.
That point I didn't actually like. I didn't like that broad shoulder appeal. But from the set photos I have seen where him doing his thing, I'm like, damn, this shit looks actually pretty good. That first one was horrible. He was looking. He was speaking of Injustice and such. He was looking like the Flashpoint Paradox Superman, all scrawny,
and such.
But what I will say is, I see the complaints. I see
of him
being kind of small, and it's very weird because when I see him next to Kara, in some of the set photos, I'm like, well, damn, he doesn't look bad at all. But when I see him by himself and when he's got the traditional Clark Kent garb, I'm like, ooh, he doesn't have that like kind of oof.
Yeah, because even Clark Kent in the animated series was a block. You know, he was huge. He was tall, broad-shouldered,
and that was one of the things that
threw
people off. Was like he's supposed to be this big oafist teddy bear type of deal,
and
he's
like,
he's never Superman. Here, I'm kind of like, it's kind of there, but I don't really. I can see some of the complaints here.
That, and I haven't seen any set photos, partially on purpose because I'm trying to hold back so I can be wowed by the season premiere. But my, not necessarily worry, but somewhat of a concern is having him standing next to Jimmy Olsen. So for those who don't know, the actor that plays Jimmy Olsen in the TV series, he's actually very, very well built, and he's tall.
Yeah.
So the actor Tyler may be about the same height, but build-wise, is he about the same, or is he smaller? Because if he's smaller, then it's like you're playing into the fact that he's got these innate powers, so that's why he can get away with it, kind of thing. It's like, okay, whatever. But you know, that was the same complaint people had with Flash, where Flash is actually supposed to have the body of an athlete, like a track athlete. He's cut, he's built, and the TV Flash isn't. He's actually quite tall and quite thin. Kind of wiry. He's not like Barry Allen comic book Flash. So that was a complaint in the beginning of the Flash series for a lot of people.
Yeah, I didn't really even know that. Yeah.
Grant's acting is what basically got people to kind of look over it. Because that's also what did it for me. Because when I first saw it, I was like, what? So maybe they're going to build into the character as he gets his power. He's going to get bigger a little bit, you know, like Spider-Man did.
Right. You know, the weird thing about...
Don't know.
And that's an interesting thing to think about, because the thing about Grant and Barry Allen is that I don't actually have much of any investment in Barry Allen in the comics, because I grew up on Wally West.
Yeah, I like both, but my heart's in Barry.
I was introduced to Wally West, and the way I sort of took the first season of Flash, in my mind, I just kind of interpreted the fact that they're kind of putting a little bit of Wally West, comic Wally West, or for me it was Justice League Unlimited, Wally West, and Barry Allen kind of mixed together into
Well, they definitely did that,
Flash.
especially even with some of the storylines. They took some of the things that happened in the Wally West storyline and put it in the Barry Allen storyline, and partially because weren't sure if they were going to have Wally West as a mainstay character or not. And because you, like yourself, there are a lot of people that were huge fans of Wally West. It's like, how come he's not there? How come he's not there?
Well, and
he is now.
Yeah, and I always kind of took it as like sort of like this Wally West, Barry Allen plus a little bit of Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire, like, who am I? You know, like I'm the Flash, and even the music, it really had this like appeal of like that first Spider-Man movie as well.
The troubled superhero.
Yeah. Parker Luck type of deal. Yeah. So
but that's something that always happened with Barry. One of the things that people liked about Barry, you could say, okay, he's DC Spider-Man. The fact that he's never on time. To be so fast, he's always late. Something happens, or he can't do two things at once, even with all that speed and power, so he's always missing something. And that's one of the things that we also like, because, well, he's the Flash.
You know, before I forget, and we might as well, like, you saw it already, the Flash Season 3 trailer and such?
Parts of it, yes. But like I said before, I think, that I did not see.
Devil Run. Okay.
Do you know what I like about that? That's the name of one of my favorite songs by Girls' Generation.
Okay.
Run, Devil Run.
But I was going to say, before I forget really quick, like, the one thing I really wish they didn't omit was, and I thought it was so cool, they did it in the first couple of episodes, was when CSI Barry was doing his CSI thing, they did the whole laying out, like they, for example, when he was checking the dirt, then they mapped it out with the white lines. And, like, I really like that fact, because I'm like, yes, please show people
that
how smart
side.
this motherfucker really is.
Right.
And they started scaling back on that, and then it started getting into this, well, Barry just cries every episode, basically. And I really hated that, because
I didn't like
I really thought that was really cool that they had that element. I'm like, this is fresh. It reminded me of Sherlock Holmes. All right, let's get into The Flash, Run Devil Run. Extended trailer.
I've seen you before, haven't I? Gary, right?
Barry
Allen. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. Who the hell is this? I created a whole other existence. There's even a Flash, so I don't have to be.
It's Wally West.
More like Kid Flash.
Yeah.
Don't call me that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you stop the rival. You just kidnapped this one. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
She's a scientist. We need her. Follow my lead. The Flash doesn't follow anyone.
Listen to him, Wally. He's the Flash.
What's happening to me? Decide.
Your original life will
Forget
fade
it.
away. You won't even remember that you're the Flash.
A little quaking in your boots would be inappropriate.
Oh my god.
All right, there we go.
I am looking forward to seeing that. Oh my goodness. And you know why? Because I want to see the dynamic of Flash and Kid Flash finally together. And to seeing how they have the rival, which is, the
Who
Black
the hell's
Rider.
playing him?
You don't recognize him?
Is
I'm
it-
going to keep that as a secret and make him either A, look it up, or wait.
It looks
I'm
like,
not going to tell
I
you.
mean, judging by the mouth, it looks like it's the same dude that plays Reverse Flash, not the Professor. That's no, and it's not. It's
Could
not.
that be Godspeed? What? What?
Okay, I'm gonna look it up. But damn,
I love doing this stuff.
The-
I like the way that they played this, because as they're playing the trailer and in between these shots of the fibers of the suit, I thought was cool. And how they actually let Wally West have full powers. Not, because you know what happened in last season.
Oh, is that Eddie? No. Fuck. That smile. No.
Right? So you know how Wally West and the professor's daughter, why her name is not popping off my tongue.
It's Speedy. No, well, not Speedy.
No, but basically his daughter.
Jesse Quick.
Thank you. So sorry. How Jesse Quick and Wally West both got struck right before the end of the season, and they should have come into their powers, right? Obviously, he's changed the timeline. We're in the Flashpoint paradox right now, and Wally's got full powers. He's the Flash of this time, that kind of stuff. Kid Flash. I like how they're playing that in, because hopefully, if it gets reset in any capacity,
he still keeps it, right?
He still keeps it, and they give Jessie her powers, because I would like to see her with powers.
It's kind of interesting because I'm not I didn't like the song, but I also know what network it's on, so I know what they have to kind of do, who they're kind of advertising to. So
that, and they're also trying to keep it slightly different from the other ones, because if you have the same group doing the same title screen, same music, it's going to sound similar. Because if you look at Vampire Diaries, the originals, Beauty and the Beast, there's a reason I'm saying these three. If you look at the title screens, they're almost exactly the same. They all start exactly the same. Monologue from the main character or characters. They introduce what happened up until now, and then when they do the title screen's written like this, and then there's a little swirl at the end of it. All three of them the exact same.
okay. Nobody spoil who the rival is for me. I'm assuming.
So everybody tweet it to him later.
I bet you. If you guys want to see my true reaction to this,
tell them.
Because this is the one thing I don't like about set photos and like people giving away information. Did you figured it out like through like a set photo or something, or you read it?
Which part? This?
Yeah. Who is?
Partially because I unfortunately clicked on a Yahoo link that had news that was unrelated, and it was tagged to the end of it.
Okay.
Now, one thing I don't like, this looks like ears.
Aquaman's brother.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I thought the same goddamn thing. I was like, God damn, he looks like Aquaman's brother and shit. Like,
but I'm not hating because I'm not on the show anyway, and I'm happy that finally something that I'm interested in is being made.
I'm cool. Yeah, I'm cool. From what I did read, the whole Flashpoint paradox and what they're doing is only going to last 2 or 3 episodes, so I'm fine with that.
Now, being honest, that depends on the audience. Because think about it, if the audience complains enough about something, they do away with it.
Yeah.
If the audience complains about something enough, they continue or add to it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well,
so I think it's a coin toss.
Yeah, Felicity. So,
you go, girl.
You did not.
I'm doing that to mess with him because I know he's not a big fan of Felicity. But you know what? I like that.
Who is?
You have a large number of people that are big Felicity fans because there aren't enough strong female roles and leads on a lot of the superhero TV shows. She's one of the few members from the beginning till now that's left.
Red Red Nation, stand up,
Am I
speak
wrong?
up.
Well, even if you don't like her, how many female characters can you mention that are mainstays on Arrow? Felicity.
I don't watch the show anymore.
Felicity. Black Canary's gone. She's gone. White Canary's gone.
And you know who killed her?
Red Arrow.
And you know who killed her?
Or will be gone. So it's like there's like one.
Hillary Clinton is a very strong candidate and a very strong woman. That doesn't mean it's the right choice.
Doesn't mean it's the right choice, but it's like, hey, introduce some more characters. So this season, hopefully, they're going to.
Oh, yeah.
One, because, he's not a Felicity fan, and I want him to go back and watch Arrow. They're introducing a new team, by the way. Did you know that? You know what? You should watch the Arrow
I'm
trailer.
Straight Black Panther on this shit at this point. I don't care. I don't care anymore. No, I saw the trailer, and I was just like, whatever. Like, wake me up when September ends, because that's how I feel.
I'm like this. Like, Diggle!
Oh, yeah.
I want Diggle to get his own show, spinoff.
But I did hear Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that? Yeah, he might come back, or he's back, or something.
He may be coming back, which would be kind of nice because that means that the issue that they had before has been finished.
If he does,
and because he was a great character on the show.
Yeah. I would be down with that.
Quick question for you and for Red Nation. For the Arrow fans or people who may go back and watch it, if Arrow ended up getting Mirakuru, which basically is Miracle for those who didn't catch that, do you think it would make the character better? Do you think it would drive the story in a better direction or no change at all?
I believe that the Arrow show at this point is so far gone from what the original target audience was. And I understand they completely did away with the original target audience and they started going toward a different direction. I believe that it's so far gone from what it used to be that not one thing can really solve it at this point. Like, I feel like it's when we had the housing crisis way back when. You can't just shoot it with a stimulus package or whatever and expect everything to be okay afterwards. I think it's going to be, if they care. Because here's the other issue. I don't think most people care, or the producers don't care enough to want to try to get their original audience back like that. So he could get his Mirakuru. Felicity could die, and it still may not convince enough people to like come back and be like, oh shit, we got our original Arrow show back. I made large arguments way back when Felicity even became like a mainstay thing. Before I was hating on fucking Felicity. The Olicity. I was hating on Olicity before it was cool, and because I knew where this was going, and in the words of Alfred, I hate to say I told you so, but I bloody well told you so. like that. Like,
well, I am one of those people that where this happened, hoping since they have the big crossovers between the shows, Flashpoint and so on, they get to reboot some of that. Like, for example, bringing Black Canary back, so Oliver and Black Canary can actually be together.
It'd be nice. I mean,
not that they have to follow the comic books, but that's a couple that had really good chemistry.
There's a picture floating around. That I thought was really funny, where they showed the image of the Arrow season, whatever it's on, and they were like, it said something like along the lines of, it's a sad day when the front runner of the most badass show of all the CW shows has now been turned into like a soap opera drama about a girlfriend. Or something like that. But I really feel like I didn't even watch the next trailer because I kind of saw something. I was like, okay, half this trailer was about Felicity. So I'm like, I'm so done. And I have
recent or before?
The most recent one that's debuted recently this week.
I think because her character may not be there much longer. Because they, at this point in the storyline, they are not getting married. They've separated. She stays just as tech support on the team, and she just barely came back to do that. And they've introduced new people altogether, and they're pulling away from that main cast. So that could be good or bad.
I don't know.
Good. I think it could be good as a setup for a potential spinoff with a younger group in a different direction.
I will check out the crossover as I always do, just like I did with Supergirl. I will check out the crossover and see what's going on in Arrow World, and if it seems intriguing, maybe I'll come back. But
I'll keep him posted with little tidbits every now and then if it seems like it'll be worth his time.
Yeah, like at least let me put it this way. Let me put it this way: I'd be more inclined to watch Supergirl right now, way more.
I'm so happy to hear that because it's a character and a story that you usually don't follow.
I would watch Supergirl a lot faster than I would ever go back to Arrow at this point. Like, yeah. And
that's bittersweet.
Legends of Tomorrow, it still looks. I don't know about all that, but I would even be more inclined to go back to Gotham as well. Gotham is actually a very intriguing show for me.
Gotham,
I just don't have
because it's completely different from what you would expect.
Right, and I just don't really have the time for it fully. So but I will say with all this CW and WB talk we're talking about, we'll just make it a whole segment here. And that's what I'm just gonna put it here is. If they can bring in Superman into the TV fold, then why the hell can't we bring Batman in sooner than later? I would like to see that.
I would.
2-3 years, I'd be more than happy then.
I wouldn't. Because then it's almost overdoing it. I would much rather see a side character get pushed, like Flash. They didn't do a movie, so they gave him a TV show. I was happy with that. Even Supergirl, instead of doing a movie, they did a TV show. A side character being pushed to the front. Arrow, perfect example. And it's like people call him the discount Batman. And
he was actually badass when he was that discount Batman.
Yeah. And I'm one of those fans where I really loved the first season because it was gritty and fresh.
Yeah,
but I think another character being brought up would be really cool to flesh out the TV universe itself.
Okay.
That and because they're having all these great crossovers, I think it'd be cool. Keep Batman for the movies right now, especially since they're making 2 to 3 of them, depending on how this one does with Ben Affleck. That way, we can enjoy it. Make a Nightwing TV series. That would be interesting. Or a Teen Titans TV series. That would be interesting.
But I think they were in some.
I
thought that was the whole goddamn point of the reason why everybody from Arrow bounced out. Because they were making a Teen Titans show or something like that.
Yes, and it either got canceled, put on hold, a lot of things happen in production, who knows. But if that happens, I'm happy because that means hopefully you get to see Starfire, and if not, please bring it on TV sometime soon.
Really, in retrospect, when I really sit and think about it, I think Supergirl is actually the most comic accurate of all the shows on the CW right now. I don't follow. It's just for me. I guess it's because of the fact that I don't follow. Yeah. I don't follow Supergirl so much, but when I look at that show, I'm just like, damn, this is This is Supergirl.
Right.
With Flash, though, see, the thing else I will say about Flash is because it comes from more of the Flareverse type of deal. It comes from Arrow, the leather jumpsuit, like that. Like, that's why I can't really look at TV show Flash and be like, boom, straight out of the comics type of deal. That's my thing about that.
Okay, well, I'll say this. With the TV show Flash, the difference being if they put him in the spandex like they did in the 90s, people complain.
Yeah, I agree.
I have to say that when he was in the spandex in the 90s, it's kind of cool for that time period.
Right. Absolutely. He would look like Spider-Man now.
But I will say, for those who do pay attention to the costumes, if you look at the back portion all the way down to the calves of Flash's costume, it's almost identical to Green Arrow's. Because there's because they even have
the same
same layout and cut. I do like how they did it. If he gets a new suit eventually, that'd be kind of cool.
I would prefer.
But having the leather, it is easier to get in and out of.
I prefer that he did get a new suit sooner than later, only because everybody, with the exception of whatever the hell the rival was wearing, everybody else's costume actually looks better. Zoom's costume looked really good.
It did, although it didn't fit the Professor. The Professor was not that built.
What? Oh, you mean, wait, are we talking about Professor Wells? Or
Reverse Flash.
No, I'm talking about Zoom.
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 Sorry.
Zoom. Black Zoom. Kid Flash's costume looks pretty damn good for what they were going for. I know if they covered it up, we probably would have looked too much like Reverse Flash, so they tried to grow it up.
And that's more like the original comic book.
Yeah, I did like that. I liked, of course, I loved Reverse Flash's costume. That shit.
Reverse Flash looked
that was one of the best ones. The way it kind of bled into dark black at the end, like that. So I do feel like, Barry needs something a little bit more. I don't know. As
far as costume updates, Barry getting a slight costume update would be kind of cool.
It'd be nice.
And, given you don't watch, Diggle getting a costume update, which they said they are going to do, would be great. Only because I'm tired of the Magneto-looking helmet.
Dignito. Yeah. All right, guys, that's enough CW talking. I guess technically it used to be Gotham's still on Fox, so DC, CW. You guys know what it is. What do they actually call it? The DC TV or DC?
I'm gonna look it up because I don't.
Maybe DCU TV, something like that. If movie version DCEU, maybe it is the DCU TV. Maybe
possibly.
Maybe.
We'll check it out. If you guys know, hey, text one of us. Let us know.
Let us know what you guys think about all this. What show? That's a good question. What show of the DCU TV are you looking forward to the most?
And the least, and why? Because that's something I want to know.
I guess so. That's a good. I want to know what. Have you dropped any shows actually? Like for me, I would say of course, Flash is my whole reason to really get excited for reacting to TV shows again. So I'm looking forward to that. The least
Flash
one
is
definitely Arrow and Legends. At least with Legends of Tomorrow, I would pique some interest. With Arrow, I lost complete interest. So Gotham is up there as well in terms of if I had time, I would watch it as well. So
if they did Constantine, would you do it?
No. I really couldn't get into Constantine for some reason. There was even in the crossovers, and I never checked out the original show, or maybe I checked out the first show, but I don't know. It was just something just didn't click with me. I guess in that term of magic, even in the comic books, even with the Injustice. Yeah, there was just something about Constantine I just don't like in terms of his kind of demeanor, the British personality type of deal. It's like, for me, just wasn't my sort of deal. So, yeah. You?
I watched it because I like having my superhero kick and my supernatural kick. And the supernatural side, it does deal with magic, and they have the potential to introduce characters to television who I'd like to see, like Shazam.
Okay.
Zatanna,
that being said, then I'd be more inclined, in terms of magic, I'd be more inclined to see a Zatanna spin-off or something like that. I would love to see like a strong, sexy magician type girl on the CW. Probably not because it'd be corny as hell.
Vixen.
I'd love to see
Vixen was on Arrow, but having her with Zatanna would be kind of cool.
I'd love, and that's one of the things I've never actually followed up on was the animated crossover.
The animated crossover was actually really good.
Okay.
I was told they are filling it out again for this season, which would be great.
A Vixen spinoff, I would like to see that as well.
That would be cool. And if not, how about this? Zatanna and Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey would be good because it gives you a chance to fill out some characters that haven't been utilized in a long time.
I get it, but something about Birds of Prey kind of screams failure to me for some reason. I think because of previous attempts already, and I also for anything that's directly or cross-referencing Batman kind of irks me sometimes, where I'm just
really?
But just because it's like, yo, if you got Barbara Gordon on there,
why don't you have Batman?
That and just like, it kind of teases me too much and annoys me that they will always make references like that. Like when you said Nightwing, like a Nightwing spinoff, it would bother me so much because they will always mention Batman, but I would never see Batman. He's like, you're pretty good, but I've been trained by the best. I'm like, I get it. You fucking got trained by Batman, but you're never going to show me Batman.
Well, what if they did this?
Trigger.
There's like Batman and the Birds of Prey. So you have Batman there as a mainstay. He won't be the main of the series.
I prefer
the whole
Batman,
thing, and he sends them on missions.
I prefer Batman and the Outsiders. That'd be better than. I'd prefer Batman and Birds of Prey. Sounds kind of corny. Like really, like they're like, okay, hey guys, we got Batman, but you're gonna need to see these women most of the show like that.
Yeah, but it would help with people enjoying in a different way, and it gives you writing freedom.
Batman
too.
and the Outsiders featuring Batgirl Cassandra Cain. Then I'd be down with that shit.
That'd be cool.
Batman and the motherfucking assassins. No.
Well,
that shit wouldn't work or whatever.
Batman in the Court of Owls.
Meme World, Batman and his bitches, featuring Superman and the rest of the Justice League.
Coming soon on HBO. With that title, it's got to be for adults.
All right, bye guys. Peace.
Later.
All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Wait for them to ask you who you know.